Hello and welcome to Shocking Sequels. He's Fraser and I'm Mark, and we're watching sequels to things again.
This is happening.
It is. Well, the original idea was to find the diamond in the rough, but we did that with Bambi 2.
And it's, yeah.
So we're now looking for diamonds
Which
in
is
the
proving
rough.
hard to get.
Yeah. This time we did something a bit different.
Mixed it up.
I picked a sequel to a film that I really like, but he hasn't seen the original. And next up, we're kind of gonna flip reverse it.
Yeah, so it's kind of like I'm going in blind here.
Yeah.
Mark's putting the sequel on, and I'm seeing if I want to see the first one from seeing the second one. So like, if it makes me want to see the first one, and if I can guess what the first one's about.
So we'll do that first.
Yeah.
We watched From Dusk Till Dawn 2, Texas Blood Money. I don't know why it needed Texas Blood Money, but anyway.
You've got to have a tag.
Yeah, it's got a tagline. Did it make you want to watch the first film?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think? I've written my own little synopsis in my bookie. What did you think would predict the plot of From Dusk Till Dawn?
Well, I imagine there's vampires in there.
Right.
It's more like a western with vampires sort of thing. I don't see when we were watching the sequel, we were with a group of 5, and at first I was thinking that maybe it's the same 5 from the first one, but at the very end I was like, no. So I don't know. I imagine we'd probably with a person or a group maybe, and they battle vampires in the West. I don't know. That's my guess.
Right.
Let's hear what
2 brothers, a rapist, murderer and a bank robber,
Oh dear. Oh.
abduct a family, which includes a pastor and his 2 kids, in a Winnebago. And they are basically trying to get across the border to Mexico to get the heat off them from a crime.
Right.
And it starts as this kind of like really quite intense crime movie, like kind of road trip crime movie.
Yeah.
And then they get to the titty twister, which was only in the sequel very, very briefly. And shit goes down and the titty twister is full of vampires. Everyone gets murdered apart from the bank robber and the pastor's daughter.
Okay.
And at the end of the film, the bank robber lets the daughter go with the Winnebago, and it pans back and it shows that the titty twister is like an old Aztec kind of like metropolis, and that all the vampires came from Aztec legend.
Oh, so that's kind of cool. Okay. Yeah, so then I definitely watch.
The massive twist is that the vampires weren't expected. It's the first 30 to 40 minutes of the film, it was just a crime film.
Right, so and this one, yeah, because with the sequel...
It was immediate vampires.
Yeah, immediate yeah. Which, okay, yeah, I probably would watch the first one then, because
This one's ace.
the parts I enjoyed of this were probably the last 20 minutes, where it was the vampires, the final fight basically. The build-up, I wasn't that much of a fan of.
Now that was similar to the original film, the build-up. The final fight was similar.
The build-up was a bit of a drag, but that sounds quite interesting because you don't see it coming. Maybe I should have watched the first one before this one.
I did say you should, but then you insisted.
But then I wouldn't expect the vampires, so either way it's kind of cool. Because when I thought of Dusk Till Dawn, I didn't think vampires, I thought like a western, so maybe it's... And then the sequel just... BAM! Vampires! No, but the last I think it dragged a bit and I was a bit like, oh, I don't really want to see this, but this last 20 minutes made me go, right, I want to see the first one now, because... This one, I imagine, isn't very popular. It's 1 star on a certain streaming site, so I imagine, especially with the kind of sequels we see, the first films are always quite good. And I trust your opinion.
Thanks.
So I probably would watch the first one. Maybe not the television series.
I just don't feel like that was much of a sequel. It was kind of inspired by and similar to, but none of the original characters were in it. The only original actor was Danny Trejo, and he played a different character.
Right.
His character was the kind of like, in the first one, he was the entertainment guy in the Titty Twister. and he's just like a barman in this one, and I don't know, it's...
Yeah, because I'm sure he was...
But it's definitely a different character.
Because that's the character, it's the actor you think of from Dusk Till Dawn. I was like, oh, is he just in the sequel then?
But he's not.
Yeah.
It's not the same character. And the Gecko brothers, that's the two criminals, they're mentioned once. That was George Clooney and some other guy played the Gecko brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this seems very low budget horror kind of thing.
You say that, but the cars were made of explodium, and that was quite good, and the vampires' deaths were really nicely done.
It's one of those like horror things where it's like that's where the money's being spent.
Yeah, clearly.
Not like because there were some bizarre camera angles which were just point of views of locks and stuff.
Vampire's teeth.
Vampire's teeth. And
it was more like the point of view of the throat, because you can see behind the vampire's teeth.
A lot of the shots were like kind of student film kind of thing. Like I can say that because I'm a student and they do student films, and you see it all the time in class. Just like you can just tell because the way it was filmed and stuff, and like the point of views of characters, like them shots were just like distorted in a way because it's like it made him seem really small and like wasn't matching, and it was just like, what is going on? But
but you've got to remember this film was from 1999, so it's 15 years old.
Yeah.
Was that maybe something that is now a cliche for film students, but was less so at the time? Do you think? I'm not trying to defend it. I'm just thinking.
I think it's just one of them, like, clearly not like they didn't get a great director for it or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't a sequel. It
was Robert Rodriguez, the first one.
That
wasn't Robert Rodriguez.
Like, let's get someone to invest in it. It's kind of just someone they maybe just grabbed and said, "Oh, do you want to do this sequel, mate?" And they went, "Yeah, I'm a fan of the first one. Why not?"
Safe. Did have some big stars in though, and by big stars, what I mean is people what I recognise from weird shit. Kelly from Saved by the Bell.
Oh yeah, the first.
Yeah, she was in the first few bits, and then Bruce Campbell. Who doesn't love Bruce Campbell? That's Ash from The Evil Dead. Yeah. And Doggett from The X-Files, also known as Robert Patrick, and the Melty Terminator from Terminator 2.
It was so weird seeing him talk. I'm so used to just seeing him as a straight face, no words, just like fear, and then I just like talking, just fair play.
Interestingly, the teleseries you mentioned, Robert Patrick plays the pastor from Dusk Till Dawn. It's the same character but in the TV series, so he's in Dusk Till Dawn 2 and the Dusk Till Dawn teleseries playing different characters.
I don't know if that's a good... To be fair, he was an okay character to follow in the film and stuff like that, and obviously you've got that name recognition, you kind of go, oh, okay, we relate to this guy. And having the villain being Max and Paddy.
You said that and I couldn't get over it. The main vampire did look a bit like Max.
Dusk Till Dawn.
Dusk Till Dawn. Aye. For me, it was okay.
Yeah, because it'd be interesting, like, because obviously you're a fan of the first one, like, your opinion mainly more than mine.
Had they not put the Dusk Till Dawn name to it, I might have even liked it more. But I guess because the first film was so stunning. Yeah, that's what I think. And I think that maybe I went in thinking too much or wanting too much. And it was a perfectly acceptable vampire film. As I say, the vampire deaths were good. And they did use something that they used in the first film where they used a gun and a stick as like a cross. That was nicely done. I
think it's one of them though, isn't it? Where it's like you say, if this film did come out and didn't have that Dusk Till Dawn, it probably wouldn't have been more recognised. We probably might not have seen it. And also doing stuff from the original film would be kind of like, people like, why copying them and stuff.
I think it emulates it, but doesn't quite get it right.
Yeah.
I think...
It's like, I see what you're doing there, but we're doing something different.
Yeah. It was just a cheap version of Dusk Till Dawn. It was quite a similar plot, but with less identifiable characters.
Yeah.
The characters, it was basically like baddies that then become goodies because vampires. But
Yeah.
it didn't quite fit the way. Didn't quite fit the way that Dusk Till Dawn did. It wasn't as good a quality film.
And there was a lot of, let's just say, adult film and group screenings of adult films, and I just thought it was like, I think I said to you, it was like, is this a normal thing? Is this like you get a group together and you just...
It's not for me, but I know a lot of people do.
It just seems quite uncomfortable.
No, I don't want to watch porn with anyone other than me.
Or defeats the object, like...
Yeah.
But yeah, there was probably more story in those films than this one, to be honest, but...
Oh, be fair. And there were some tits. Did you like the tits?
Tits.
Tits.
Nipple. Oh, homage to, sort of, to Psycho as well.
Yeah.
The shower scene. That was kind of cool.
But you saw tits and you saw her get stabbed, so it really was just kind of like a cheap version of it.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of defeated the object, yeah.
Should we do the... I've never done the Rotten Tomato things before, so you have to play the game. So...
Am I guessing the first and second one?
Right, the first film got 63% when it came to the critic reviews, but 77% from the general public, which I was surprised by. I expected it to be a little bit higher than
I was going to guess 70%, just from like your kind of like opinion of it, and like obviously like
it's actually more culty,
having like sequels around it and a Netflix series.
It's actually more culty than it's culty, and it's made lots of money, but it's not quite critically perfect, if you see what I mean, as a film.
I know what you mean.
So what do you think, what do you think that From Dusk Till Dawn 2 was higher or lower than 63%?
Oh, definitely lower.
Do you think it was lower than 43%?
Yeah, it's got to be lower than that.
Do you think it was lower than 23%?
Yeah, I'll go lower than 23.
Do you think it was lower than 13%? Go on, give us a number. What do you think it got? What do you think it got?
The way you're asking.
Give us a number. It is lower than 23%. Give us a number. What do you think it was?
Is it lower than 13% as well?
I'm not answering that question.
I want to say something like, I don't know.
Go on, Fraser.
10% or something like
It got 9%.
Oh, 1%. Oh.
I don't think that's fair. I think the film was better than 9%. Viewer figures was 20%, which is still pretty harsh.
Well, maybe if you just cut it down to that last 20 minutes where it's just vampire.
Last 20 minutes was nice. And the vampire death was good, the melty face, and then leaving the skeleton, that was an interesting take on vampireness. There was some good shit in it, but I expected so much more because From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, exactly. It's the price you pay for putting the name in it, the IP there and stuff like that. Aye.
Well, thank you for watching Shocking Sequels. He's been Fraser, I've been Mark. And now what we're watching?
My turn.
Yeah, what am I watching?
This is a trip down childhood lane. It's going to be Agent Cody Banks 2. Featuring
You're fucking kidding me.
the kid from Malcolm in the Middle.
Fuck my life.
Malcolm. I think Hilary Duff's in it as well. Hilary Duff.
I'm gonna go and get my quilt.
You like Hilary Duff?
Who's Hilary Duff? Bye.